Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is the fourth entry into the Mission Impossible franchise, and it came out in the year 2011. The movie is directed by Brad Bird, and fun fact, this was the first Mission Impossible movie that I ever saw on the big screen, so a little bit of nostalgia there for me. But this movie once again brings back Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, trying to save the world with his IMF team. However, right off the bat in this film, you see that Ethan gets set up for a bombing at the Kremlin, and so the US decides to initiate Ghost Protocol, which means they're going to cut ties, disavow all of the IMF agents, and so now Ethan and his team not only have to try and clear their names, but they also have to try and stop the person who actually bombed the Kremlin, who is now trying to set off a nuclear bomb. The movie would almost put a completely new team surrounding Ethan Hunt. We would get Benji to return, but this time as a field agent. Benji, of course, is played by Simon Pegg. We would get two new characters to this team who I absolutely love, some of my favorite characters. We get Paula Patton as Jane. I thought she did a fantastic job as a badass female agent from the IMF. And we also get the introduction to Jeremy Renner's character of William Brandt, who at one point I think we all thought was going to take over the series from Tom Cruise, but that apparently was never meant to be. But you do get some new characters, which is pretty fun. My biggest positive for this movie is going to be all of the anxiety-filled scenes that fill this entire movie. Movie flies by. It's got a great pace because of the anxiety-filled scenes. For instance, the movie kicks off with that Kremlin bombing, trying to get Ethan and his team out of there before the bomb goes off, and then you have Tom Cruise climbing the highest building in the world with a glove that keeps going off. A lot of anxiety there. You've got a sandstorm car chase scene, which ends in a head-on collision, and you, the viewer, are just edge of your seat the entire time. And of course, the ending when Ethan's trying to stop the nuclear bomb from going off by getting to a certain briefcase that he can stop the bomb with, and it's in this parking garage high-rise structure where Ethan has to fight the villain the entire time. He ends up taking a car, doing a nosedive off of one of the top ramps, crashing it into the ground just to get closer to the briefcase. Again, so many anxiety-filled scenes. The pace in this movie is great. I guess on the negative side of this movie, they didn't use the masks hardly at all. You know, the masks are so synonymous with this franchise where they'll get ripped off and you'll surprise the audience with something. They make a joke about wanting to use them at one point. They show the equipment breaking down at another point, and maybe it's because they're under Ghost Protocol, but it was disappointing not to see Ethan get the upper hand on someone because of a mask that he was wearing. Overall, I had a great time with Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. It's a movie I've watched over and over the years, and it never seems to get old, and I absolutely love that at the very end of this movie, they set up the Syndicate, which would then become the biggest plot point of this franchise going forward.